Welcome to For Real, the talk show with four real women giving you the real 411 on what's going on. Today's show means so much to all of us because we have the owner, founder, originator, creator, producer of all the Kyyba group of companies, of which there's so many, I don't know where to start, but we're so happy to have you here. We have Tel Ganesan. He's our boss, girls, right?
Yes. He's our leader,
boss.
baby.
He's the leader.
He's our fearless leader.
And there's so many questions. We all have prepared our questions that we want to ask you because you do so many things and you wear so many hats and you do it so effortlessly. Do you ever sleep?
I do sleep.
I was wondering, when does this man sleep? Because he's always on the go.
Yes.
So face your mic and give me some answers because the next question I have for you, which is actually the first to start it off, is when did you actually come here to the United States? And it's a two-part question. And when you grew up in India, did you always dream of coming to the U.S.? Was that a goal of yours?
Yes. So I came to U.S. exactly about 30 years ago, 1989, to be more accurate. Yes, I dreamed to come to the U.S. In fact, passion for cars brought me to Detroit, and that's why I'm still here.
I wondered because I thought, who would pick Detroit? I mean, somebody from far away looking at the United States, you say, look at L.A. and Hollywood, and there's Miami Beach and New York, and you ended up in Detroit.
Yes. Back growing up, cars was a big deal. And so Detroit is the automotive capital of the world. And so I always wanted to be here, and I'm so glad that I ended up here. Also so glad that I ended up with you guys today.
Oh, yeah, we're happy to have you.
Thank
Are you
you.
kidding?
Yes.
So how did you feel connected to cars? I mean, did you grow up with an interest in the automotive industry? I mean, are cars hard to come by or more expensive in India?
Back in the days, it was very expensive. It is a sign of status symbol back in the days. Of course, things have changed now. And then, that's that machine, you can drive fast, that curiosity and the enthusiasm you would have with the cars really draw me into it. So, so I really said, wow, not only I wanted to drive, but I also want to design cars for companies. And that got into my head.
Now, what about your educational background? What about your education took you to the level where you could come here and get meaningful employment and do what you wanted to do in the States?
Yeah, so I came here to pursue a master's in mechanical engineering with some focus on automotive. And then soon after I started working for Chrysler. And so then I, started learning the building cars, designing cars, quality control, so on and so forth.
Did you go to Wayne State? Did I get
Yes,
that?
I did, yeah. So actually I came to Oklahoma State University for a semester. And don't ask me why I went to Oklahoma of all the places. So I went to a place called Stillwater out of nowhere.
What, did you just pick that name out of a hat?
I literally
That's
did.
kind of random.
It's a random.
How else would you find that?
Yes, how else? I mean, even if I ask a couple of Michiganders, they have no clue
Never
where
heard of
Stillwater.
it.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up there. And then soon I got there, I transferred into Wayne State. It took about 4 months. So from rest is history. So since then I've been here.
Wow.
So I have a question. So since you were into automotive for all these years, how did you transition that to the company that you have now for Kyyba?
Yeah, so 2005, I left Chrysler from 92 to 2005. I was there, and then I got bored doing the same thing, as an entrepreneur. So I said, wow, I was able to take a company from a bedroom into a $50 million company. And I can continue to do the rest of my life, but then I decided, what more can I do? So the curiosity to go and try something new brought me into so many other things. So then I started a whole bunch of companies. And then, of course, this year I got into magazine. I have no clue how to run a magazine company. So my challenge is to really start something new that I have never tried before, and then go and disrupt that with zero knowledge, and then learn them along the way and turn them around and take them to the next level.
That's a huge
And the
motivation.
journey and the thrill, it's really the thrill of doing that keeps
yeah.
me going more than the money. And of course, money comes, I'll be happy,
Right.
but I'm not doing just for money alone.
Wow.
Well, I think it's
That's a great
interesting.
mindset.
It's a great mindset because to be successful at anything, you have to have that number one, that curiosity,
Yes.
and then the ability to implement and facilitate
is.
everything that you're trying to do.
Yes.
And I love the idea of going into a completely new field that you know nothing about, but you get the right people around you.
Yes.
That's one of the secrets to success is finding the right people.
That is true. And I would also add, Jackie, what I call is first principle thinking. What I mean by that is that most of the things, run based on basics. So I apply the basics to any company that I get involved because sales is sales, no matter which company you go to. Business is business. As long as you have those basics and apply into different industries, you'll still get the same results. But many people are fearful because I don't know how to do a movie business. I don't know how to do a magazine business. End of the day, people are people. Revenue is revenue. Expenses are expenses. They don't change, and that's what I'm doing.
Well, I have a question for you on that. What is your relationship or what were you taught about? Do you have any fear of failing? Because I think people's fear of failure is what would hold them back from that idea that, people are people and whatnot. So what were you
Yes.
taught as a child or what have you implemented yourself around that?
No, good question. Excellent question. I think I improvised over the years, but back in the days when I was growing up in India, they don't like fears, right? So even my mom, they are, oh, you got to have a government job, meaning security for the rest of the life,
Yeah.
safety. So the idea of, them thinking that I could go into entrepreneurship and leave $100,000 job, go to the street and start from scratch.
Unheard of.
Unheard of. They were
Wow.
freaking out. They were thinking I was crazy. Because
Yes.
nobody in the right frame of mind would do that.
Right. There's safety behind your pension and having this
Yeah,
cookie
the
cutter
security,
life.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you've always dreamed big. You've always had this
That's right.
vision. So you're getting ready to launch your magazine. What's the journey been like so far for you?
So far, it's good. We are putting all the pieces together. We are transitioning very nicely. I'm very anxious to go into a steady state and really take them. How do we take a magazine that operated out of a place like Flint? How can we turn them into the whole state? How can we make them into a national magazine and eventually take them a global magazine?
and
right?
you'll do it. If
Yeah.
I know how you operate, he will do it.
Yes.
And I think we should tell people a little bit about the magazine because
Yes.
we hadn't gotten to the point of discussing that yet. We were kind of talking about your background and how you
Yes.
got here. And I think we're going to come back to the magazine
Sure.
as we continue on your journey.
Absolutely.
But I'm curious as to what was your first impression of the United States when you first got here, coming from India. It's such a different culture.
Yes.
What did you think? What did you think of the women here?
Great question, Jack. And you're with 4 women, so careful, Tom.
I just want to know what he thought
I
of
thought-
American
American
women.
women. Yes.
Yeah, I thought it's heaven on earth.
Good answers. Good answers.
Probably never saw so many blondes in his life.
That's right. I have no idea what blonde is until I got here.
See?
Right? I can only see a Barbie doll, but I never saw in real life.
Wow.
Isn't
I didn't know
that
what.
interesting?
It really
That's
is.
what I was.
Interesting. Yeah.
I was imagining that because I was thinking what it would be like to come from that culture and then come here and see all these scantily dressed blondes.
Wait, was Oklahoma the first place you went?
Yes, yes.
And not only that, it was the first place you landed. That's
Yes,
Well,
yes.
that I don't
Wow.
know. Oklahoma, they
Yeah, I'm not sure
Probably
what-
a little bit more huskier girls there, right?
Corn-fed.
A little more corn-fed girls, those farm girls there. Yep.
Still
Yeah.
blonde though.
But they're
definitely
still,
blonde.
still
Yeah.
blonde. And so, did you say, yes, this is where I want to be? Or, because that's not really representative of the United States per se.
Well, I think I had some understanding of what the U.S. is. Back in the days we see in the movies.
right.
Yeah,
Did
magazines.
you get American TV shows there?
Yeah, yeah.
So you kind of
pretty much
knew what we
yeah,
were like.
pretty much, yeah. But then seeing in real life is something different than what you see on a TV. So some of them it got wow, it is the same thing. Some of them, oh, I didn't know this. So So you learned a lot of things along the way. The minutia's life as
Did you find the American people to be accepting and friendly and welcoming to you?
Yes, very much so.
That's good to hear.
Very much so.
I was going to have to go beat up some Oklahoma people if they were nice.
We got your back, Jack.
That's
right, right?
We're on the next
one-
flight out.
They were very nice. Yes, very nice, very friendly. I felt at home.
Good.
Yes.
What has been your biggest challenge as a foreign businessman coming to the United States? What was your biggest obstacle? Or did you even have an obstacle?
I think very early on when I was growing the business, obviously business is a people business, right? So the connections, lack of connections and lack of money, the funding very early years, those were the struggle. I'm sure whether I'm a foreign born or US born, you still have to go through the same challenges. Money and people.
That's correct. I think so. So, how long were you in Oklahoma for?
Just 4 months.
4 months, and
Yeah.
then you landed in Detroit. And what a big culture change, though, coming from Oklahoma to
Oh,
Detroit.
big time. It's a night and day difference.
And when did you settle here? How long has it been then?
30 years.
30 years. So this is your home.
To the mark, yes.
Wow.
This is your home.
Yes, it is.
And you've seen, I get so excited, I get so passionate. You've seen coming to the birthplace of, the automobile.
Yes.
You have seen such ebbs and flows within the industry, within the community.
Yes.
It's been pretty challenging, but yet you've been such a big part of each resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
Why have you been such a big part of it? Why has it been so important to you?
Because I treat this as a home, because to me, this place gave me the success. And so when you are successful, you must give back. So I truly want to give back to the place that really created who I am. And so that's why I focus on my birthplace, and this is my home. I spend more time here than any other place on planet Earth. So then what do you call that place but home? And what do you do for your home? You do the right things for the home.
care of it.
You take care of it, you give back. And so that is why whenever I see some challenges, I want to do it what you do for a home.
That's beautiful.
But I like the way you use home in a more expansive, global way. Some people think of home, their house, their family, and they don't go beyond that. But you spread it much
Yes,
wider.
it is.
Your home base
It is. It
is
a home.
wider.
Yes.
So I like that. I think
Yes.
that's a really great way to look at it, because you've watched Detroit go from a city in total disarray when you first came here to go through its rebuilding stage, its rebirth, its renaissance.
Yes.
And you've been a part of that.
Yes, I'm very much so.
And I think that's something to be proud of when you go downtown and you
That's
see
right, that's
all
right.
the restaurants and the beautiful stadiums and the casinos. And we're now a vibrant city. It's alive.
We really are.
And I think it's a diversified city too, culturally, ethnically, much more so than you were used to in India, correct?
That's right. That's right.
And Wayne State, which is my alma mater, also is very different than when.
What it is
Yeah.
back
when-
then, right? Yes,
mhm.
yes,
It's
absolutely.
amazing. Yeah. I have a question for
Yes.
you also. How did you come up with the name Kyyba? Is it, I'm curious about that.
It's purely accident.
Really?
Yes,
You,
it really-
you like pull names on hats for where you're going to live?
No.
You make, yeah.
So when I started the Kyyba, I had 3 different names, because I bought 3 different companies. So I had some challenges, because I had to pull 3 different business cards anytime I go and meet. And then after a while, it became so confusing. So we have to come up with a brand. So I reached out to a company. They gave a bunch of names. And then it was not resonating with me because it was all too long to be called. So I was looking for something like Google, Apple, so it can grab people's attention. Disappointed, I go home looking at the list. Oh, nothing is there. It's too long to be called Vision Tech Solution, RSB system. So my son was just playing around and said, "Hey, Ash, can you throw me some names?" The first word came out of his mouth was, "Dad, you should call it Kyyba." Like you asked, I said, "What the heck is Kyyba?" Then he showed me a card. It's like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. It's much like Pokemon
Like
card.
Pokemon, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is Pokemon. It's a Japanese trading game. And one of the characters is called Kyyba. It's actually spelled Kaiba. And so he said, Dad, if you have this card, you can pretty much trump anybody. Not our Trump, but you can pretty much trump anyone. And so it is so powerful and so aggressive. You can pretty much take on the world. I said, son, that's the name of the new
That's it.
company.
How
Wow.
old was he?
He was about 9 years old.
I did
Wow.
not know
And-
that.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
he recommended you change the spelling for
That's
copyright
right. That's
purposes.
right.
Smart enough to know, Dad, we're not going to get you sued.
That's right.
By Pokemon.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we had KYYBA. And then back in the days, Obama was running for the campaign. We kept hearing, yes, we can, yes, we can. We said, why only yes, we can? We added, yes, we will. So that's why we put 2 YY in there. Yes, we can. Yes, we will.
we will.
And that really became
Oh,
part of it.
that's
So,
awesome.
So it's really a kid who came up with this idea from
Wow.
your own backyard.
See, I would never have thought that. I would have thought that it was a Indian word for success. Or that's what I thought.
It has nothing to do with Indian.
I had no idea because when
Yeah, I thought it was
Susie
I thought
asked
we
me
were-
what I said, oh,
Yeah.
it's probably a Indian word meaning success.
Yeah, or some spiritual word.
Right, right.
Pokemon.
Well,
Yeah,
we just
Yu-Gi-Oh.
We just dispelled that whole theory. Right
That's
there.
right. It's a myth.
So, man,
Wow.
well, the 2 Y's are pretty important,
Yes.
though, the
Yes.
meaning behind that.
Well, you know that nobody else in the world probably has that same name of their company.
No.
Right.
See, that's how unique it is.
Yes, it's
so
very unique.
I love
Great.
that, the fact that it's so unique. Let's talk a little bit about Kyyba Films because that's
Just getting ready to ask.
yeah, because that's like one of the newer divisions of your company.
Yes, yes.
How did you get into filmmaking from the tech world to go over to being a producer of Hollywood movies?
Good question. Again, I'll say accident. I know you're not going to believe me because I keep saying accident for everything. Literally, one day I was sitting in my office. Bunch of guys stopped by, actually barged in, and without any appointment. And then they, showed me the script. I have no idea to get into the movies. Although growing up in India, I had this aspiration. Wow, movie making is a big deal. People used to stand in a long queue to go and watch movies. I had that, but I never acted upon it. And these guys talked about the story with the first movie, Devil's Night, Dawn of the Nain Rouge. And when I listened to the story, it had an overarching theme of moving Detroit forward or, showcasing Michigan at its finest. That resonated with me. That one hooked me into that movie, and then the rest is history. So now 1 became 2, 2 became 3.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you because I know that was the first one, and,
Yes.
and that one is not out yet, right?
Not out yet, but it is
It's
coming.
in post-production?
It is in post-production.
But I know you went to Cannes last year with that film, right?
Yes.
What was it like to go to the Cannes Film Festival for your first time? I mean, to see all those A-list stars.
I know, that was unbelievable.
Here's little Tel
yeah.
walking around. Tel going, how you doing, George Clooney? Oh, what's
awesome.
up over there? Yeah, it's me, Tel. Hi. So did you meet a lot of famous people?
Yeah, I did.
Did you get pictures taken?
Yes.
Well, of course you did.
We did a lot of. I mean, it is like a dream coming true, right? I have only seen the red carpet in a TV and all that.
And now you're on it,
You're
right?
on it and becoming part of that. I used to even pinch myself. Is this real or is it still a dream? Then I realized it is a dream because I'm walking. It's not a dream because I'm walking. So that was a wonderful moment.
That has to be.
so
And the
cool.
movie isn't even out yet, and you were
Yes,
at Cannes.
yes.
So that's pretty impressive.
Yes.
So
when
how
do you
many-
oh, go ahead. I was just going to ask, when do you expect that movie to come out? Do you know?
I think September,
Okay.
middle of September,
Great.
we are planning to release
Tia,
the
did
movie.
you want to say something?
Yeah. So how many films do you have made already?
So I'm involved in 3 movies. I'm working on the 4th movie now. 3 movies are in post-production. All of them are going to be released before the year is over.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Back to back. We got delayed with the first movie, but we are catching up. But all of them are slated.
What was the delay on the first one? Is it in the post? Is it the editing? Is it just piecing together the story to make it fluid? Is it getting distribution? Which is the
No, I
hang-up?
think we had issues with our because it has a lot of CG work with the devil. How do
okay.
we come up with the right, the design for the devil? What kind of concept we need to come
CG,
up?
for those who don't know,
yeah,
computer generized. So
yeah, graphics and
yeah.
special effects. So that took a long time, but finally we settled on that. now when the devil is seen, people will be scared. In fact, I was jokingly tell them, design in such a way people pee in their pants when they watch the movie.
Oh,
in the
that's
theater.
great. That's good.
And I also told the theater.
So
You should
depends.
get-
Maybe
I
where
was
it
just-
depends.
Yeah, you should give them out at the
I
door
was
when
just
you walk
going to
in,
say
just
that.
in
That's a
case.
great gimmick.
Right.
As people walk in, hand them a Depends, say,
Yeah.
you're going to need this.
That is
Just in
in the
case.
gift bag.
Yes.
A little, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Just in case.
JIC.
But
just
I
in case.
Okay.
think, Jackie, in talking about Tel's, passion now with the film industry. By the way, Tia's getting into film, so we got you covered. You're home now. We'll get you some starring roles. But how kind of cool is it to film in Detroit, which really kind of built this little niche film industry?
Were
to
they
kind of-
all filmed here?
Yes, the first movie was filmed here. Yes.
What about the second? Is the second one Celebrity Crush?
Celebrity Crush?
Where was that filmed?
That was Florida and Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because I want to talk about that one because that one's going to premiere in Hollywood when 2 weeks,
In 2 weeks, yes.
and it's going to the Grauman's
Wow.
Chinese Theater. I mean,
Yes.
that's where the premiere of my movie was there.
That's
right.
amazing.
Very famous theater.
So you two have this commonality. I see both their eyes light up when they're talking about this film industry.
That's right, that's
But
right.
you both kind of speak the language
Well,
to it.
I'm so excited. I hope to be out there that week.
Please do.
And I want to know a little bit more about the script because it looks like another scary movie,
it
right?
really is a scary
Is that your
movie.
genre? You like that kind of
scary
movie?
movies.
Well, we started with that, but that's not how I'm going to end up with. But, yeah.
But you've done two of those now.
Yeah, two crime thriller genre.
But I think the first one is more of a monster that's scary, but this is more of a psychological
psychological.
thriller.
Yeah, yes.
Right,
yeah.
from what I saw watching the trailer.
That's right. I mean, I don't want to give too much about the
No,
story, but
no spoilers.
yes.
No spoilers. But when you go into this, it's a film festival that they're doing that it's in?
yes, Dances with Films
Okay.
is the name of the film festival.
And how many other movies are going to be in that festival? Do you know?
I would say about 20 movies, roughly. Yeah.
Now, is it one where they give you awards and pick best film?
Depending
best
on the votes you receive from the audience, they may select the movie. But it's been shortlisted to be part of that.
That's so exciting. Now I'm just guessing here, but how about building a Kyyba studio?
That's next.
That's coming up
Jackie.
next.
Thanks
Okay,
for yeah.
see, I'm feeling
Exclusive.
it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that we need to have
Well-
a Kyyba studio to shoot films.
Can I ask you both probably? So these festivals that you premiere your movies, are they very targeted? Are they, is there a lot of strategy behind them? These certain festivals that you go
Well,
to.
I do know you have to be accepted, not just everybody
Oh,
gets
so
in.
you have
Yes,
to
yes.
fill out. There's an
Absolutely.
application
Awesome.
process.
Yes.
There's a panel that decides which movies they're going to include.
Wow.
So that's quite a compliment.
That's awesome.
that you
It,
got
it
in
really is, Starting out of nowhere. Remember I said earlier,
Yeah.
I got into this without knowing anything about movie business. Sometimes I jokingly say, I don't even know how to turn on a goddamn, excuse me,
That's
TV.
okay.
It's podcast. Wild Wild West. Go ahead. Yes.
As long as it was you first and not me.
Oh, now we're getting
There we
for
go.
real,
All
baby.
right, let's go.
You said it's a real show, right?
Yeah, it's
I'm-
It is
I'm-
so real.
Yeah.
And we keep it real.
That's
so
Yes.
that's,
keeping it
that's
real.
Okay,
good.
all right.
Yeah.
But
So what platforms can people out there go watch your films once they're done?
So it's going to be first, theatrical release.
so you are shooting for
Yes.
studios. You're not
Yes.
going straight to video. You're going to
Yes,
studios.
yes,
to
and then
theaters.
eventually it will be on streaming services.
Okay.
It could be a whole bunch of them.
And I know too, with these movies, you've kind of partnered and collaborated with the Detroit music scene.
Yes.
D12, you've got some really good songs, and there's some music videos that'll go along with this.
Yes, yes. So we have a soundtrack, with the local D12 artists, rappers, Swifty McWay, Wobby Trice, and also Lazarus. So
Oh,
actually,
I love Lazarus.
You do, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
he's
yeah.
a friend of my son's. He'll be
Wow.
so excited.
Yeah.
That's great.
So we have created 6 songs that becomes part of that LP, and then we also have 2 music videos that will go along with the movie. So first we're going to release the whole soundtrack, and then we're going to release the music videos. One of them still pending, and then the movie will come out. So actually we are setting the stage for the release of the movie. So music album, music videos, movies, you got them all.
The package.
The package. That's
And
right.
then comes the merchandising,
That's glad you said that. We are working on that also.
especially with little devils that all the kids
Yes.
can buy and take
Wow.
home.
Absolutely.
McDonald's Happy Meals. They're in their
Little
little devils in their Happy Meal.
No, that's become a big part of the film
Halloween,
industry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So tell, if someone is listening today, it's some age, so any age
Yes.
actually, someone, and what would you say to them to inspire them to take risks? What would be maybe in one sentence, something that you would say to someone to follow their dream, even when
Yes.
it's not something they have any idea
Yeah.
what they're doing?
Because, we have one life, and that too a short life. And truly, we must live to your own true meaning and intent what you're born for. And regardless of the ups and downs and the failures, but ultimately you want to live your life to the fullest. Otherwise, what's the worth in living? That's how I look at it.
That's a
know,
great
because
attitude.
When all's said and done, that's all it matters. How you live the life, it's only thing that's going to matter when you are in the deathbed. All the other nuances and minutiae of life. Yeah, we get through all of them through the day, but all of us have issues, but ultimately they don't matter. So my thought is that focus on things that truly matters.
Focus on things
Yeah,
that truly matter.
and then even if you don't thank, your soul will thank you one day.
That's great.
It's
That's
incredible.
Well, he put
Wow.
it so well. I want to go back to the magazine that you brought up earlier in the show because that's another part of your growth. As you said, you just purchased a magazine.
Yes.
And I think that Kristen knows a lot about the magazine.
While we're very excited, it's two magazines. It's Hope for Flint, and Flint being the sister city of Detroit. We're about 5 years behind you. We're going through this resurgence
Yes.
ourselves, and Tel's been very, integral and coming in and kind of, he's been there. He's been here in Detroit, and he's coming in to show us the way, and we're very excited. But I think too, Kyyba Health and Life magazine is about to launch. But one thing about Tel, having gotten to know him over these past few months and why he's so successful, we can hear this, we can see this. Obviously, you can feel the energy in the room.
The passion. It's his passion.
You know what his part of his beauty is he leverages the best within you. He brings his best, but he's able to bring out the best in everyone else around him. And that's what you've taught me in this short amount of time.
Yes.
But I know it's a core value of your company.
That's right. That's true.
It's what's been key. So the magazine's Fast and Furious. We have the launch party on June 19th, and that's when the magazine itself will be passed out. And then ultimately, like his big vision, we said, he doesn't go small, ladies.
That's right. Go big, go home.
That's right.
I agree.
Back to
100%.
Oklahoma.
Yes.
That's
I
right.
agree 100%.
Yes.
You take something that was a small local magazine
Yes.
and you broaden it to the whole state and then you go national with it. And why not
Go
international,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
That's the dream.
Yes. And that's the only way to pursue an American dream.
And now here we have Kyyba podcasts.
That's
another new area for you that you knew nothing about.
Absolutely.
That you decided, why not put my hat in the ring?
That's
And-
right.
And here we are
I did.
on the air.
I'll put my hand
Thanks
in the
to
ring.
Kyyba.
Yeah, but I'm not going to boxing though.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Different ring.
She'll fight you.
It's just, no, I wouldn't, but I could use him for sparring. He's exactly the size of my fighter right now. It'd be
Okay.
good sparring, but we got to keep that face looking good.
Yes.
So one last question I wanted to ask you that I didn't get to say about the film industry. How hard is it to get distributors, to get a distributor to take your film and get it into all the theaters? That has to be the tough part.
It is a tough part, but I think, over the years, I learned how to create the right kind of relationship with people. End of the day, business is all about relationships. So because I've gotten all the relationships, for me, I think it's not that big of a deal. But for other filmmakers, they continue to have some challenges. But distribution is pretty much all set for us.
Well, that's wonderful because that's usually the hardest part
Yes.
for any filmmaker who has a small independent film to find somebody that will get it into the theaters is the hardest part.
Absolutely. Otherwise, all you do is, pop up some popcorn and watch in your basement. That's not watching movies.
Right, and you get no
return. Yeah, you get broke actually.
That's
Exactly.
right. No ROI that way.
So we're looking at the movie release. We're looking at the magazine release. We've got all the launches of the podcast. Is there anything Tel Ganesan can't do? No.
September 14th.
Yeah, September 14th, we have the Global Consciousness Summit that's coming up.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So we created this Global Consciousness Summit to raise the awareness of wellness in Michigan because we as a state were falling behind in terms of education and then also in terms of wellness. In fact, we are about 48th or 49th in terms of health.
We're that low?
We are. Yeah, we are. Amazon called us a very unhealthy state. And then in terms of the opioid crisis itself, we are about number 7 in the whole country. So I felt that we have to do more. So we are doing our part to raise the wellness in such a way that, wellness is not just meant for celebs and rich people. It's available for anyone at the comfort of their own home if they wanted to do that. So how do we do that? And so that's really why we came up with the Global Consciousness Summit is to, we are a nation of pills and pharma, and how do we wean off ourselves from that and go with some real food and get some good sleep and think right, go back to the fundamentals as a human being, and how do we help people to lead a healthy life and not a hectic life? And how do we beat the burnouts is really what this conference is all about. And at the same time, trying to, solve these societal challenges like the opioid education and the unhealthy state that we are in.
That's awesome.
Well, how do you, in your opinion, how do we stop the opioid
It's
problem?
Bill's lifestyle.
But the point being is that it's so widespread, and everybody knows somebody who's been touched by that situation. It's like in years past, there was the plague. The plague came along and wiped out so many people, and I feel like this is a plague.
It is. It really is. It's a national crisis.
It sure
Yeah.
is.
It's a. So the problem with that is that it affects the brain receptor. That's really for the survival instinct of a human being, like the food and the sex and all that, and then next comes the opioid.
Yes.
So whoever takes opioid thinks that's what they need to survive, and so therefore that's why we are working on creating a model that will address the issue at its root, not the cause.
Okay, so do you think then with these lifestyle and cognitive behavioral changes, that's the step in the right direction to start, pulling away from, because realistically, we talk to physicians all the time. There is a need for pain management.
Yes.
And a lot of it's diet, exercise, doing it in a more holistic approach. So maybe with all of these lifestyle cumulative changes, that's at least the beginning steps.
That's right. So what we try to suggest in the summit is that you go to, we are not saying don't go to the physicians.
Right.
Go to the physicians for really chronic situations.
That's right, acute,
Don't,
yes.
And then don't go to the physician for daily knick-knack stuff, right?
Right.
And that you should be able to, because end of the day, food is medicine.
That's right.
Right? And so then how do we do that is really what we are trying to say. So we try to put together, how to eat more plant-based diet into your regimen, meditation, yoga, traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda from India, all the Eastern philosophies, alternative therapies, acupuncture, Reiki, flotation therapy. There are so many alternative therapies out
right.
there.
There sure are.
And then when you put them all together, you have a wellness and you would enjoy, and it is free, right? And but we just don't know because we live in an instant gratification society. We live in a drive-through culture. Everything now.
Right.
But we are saying, look, these are various things that several cultures are utilizing it, and even some
Our
of the
ancestors
Yes,
for
yes.
And sometimes
centuries.
people just
Yeah.
don't know.
Exactly.
Right? It's not even
It's
that
about
they're opposed
educating
to
people.
it. Yeah.
It's educating them. You have to slow down, folks.
Correct.
Slow down. Enjoy life. Eat well. Enjoy people's company. You don't have to be high to have fun.
Yes.
You don't have to eat junk food to feel full. An apple will fill you as much as a hamburger and make you
Yes.
feel a lot better. I'm just so happy that we had you here today, Tel, because you're an inspiration. You came here and became such a huge success, self-made, based on your own beliefs, your own confidences. And we wouldn't all be sitting here together if it wasn't for Tel.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank
I
you.
just
Right.
want to, if I had something to drink, my water, I'd say, let's toast to Tel. Our healthy water.
Toast to
Thank you.
Tel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for tuning in today to For Real. We'll be back next week with more. And again, thank you so much, Tel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tel.
Thank you, all
Thank
of you.
you.
Good luck for the show.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.